Hello, loves. Welcome to Beautifully Imbalanced, where I talk about how I unlock my self-love and you can learn some new ways to unlock your self-love. I am DaShay Carter, and today's episode will be about one of my favorite new coping skills or therapies that I use to it's a coping skill to cope. But before we dive into that, I want to talk a little bit about my clothing brand, Carter Love. I make clothing that is centered around self-love. Every collection is a collection, is a phrase or affirmation that I've used to help me through my journey. So my website will be here. And next month, I'm going to do an Unlock Your Self-Love challenge. So I'm going to be doing these monthly. Each month will be different. And June is the first month that I'm doing it. So June will be free. And that challenge will be held on Patreon. So the website will be here. So anyone who signs up for a free account, basically right now, you'll be entering into being in the challenge, and we're going to grow together, and it's going to be really healing. I did the challenge at the beginning of the year, and so I'm excited to do it again, because I learned a lot about myself when I did it the first time. So I'm excited to see what I come up with now, what comes to me, and you'll know what that means when you do the challenge. The last thing I want to talk about is in these talks, sometimes you may find something new or try something new to heal, or you may feel triggered or anything to where you may need to talk to someone afterwards. And if you are not already seeing a therapist, or you don't have people in your life that you trust to talk to, or you just really want someone new that doesn't know you to talk to, I have a person that I talk to, and her name is Char. You find her on social media as Says What She Wants. And she is very deep, very spiritual, but she also has a educational background when it comes to these things. And but it's not traditional talk therapy. And so it's good. Like I said, I have came to her multiple times, and I've always walked away feeling a lot more at ease, or knowledgeable, or more in tune with what's going on and how I want to handle it, how I want to move forward. So definitely check her out. I think that's everything. So before I dive deeper in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you can be notified every time I post a new video. Let's get into it. Acupuncture. All right. So if you watched the beginning video, you know some of my struggles. So I have a childhood trauma, right? So we all have some sort of trauma. I have a childhood trauma, and of course, when it goes unhealed for so long, it follows you, and it's gonna follow you regardless. But man, it was like I thought I was managing, and I wasn't, and it hit me like hard. So I started therapy in June. I literally wrote the date down. But I'm trying to make this sound natural, so let me chill. I have notes here, by the way. Okay. I don't know why I'm nervous all of a sudden. Like, this is not my first podcast. It's probably like my 12th, but I'm hella nervous. So let me shake it off. I started therapy June of 2021, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I call it my PTSD was activated, because I believe that I've lived with PTSD, but I've lived with a lot of these symptoms, but because I was masking, because I wasn't healing, because I was suppressing, I didn't feel a lot of them. And then when I started to heal, it started to resurface. And so in June, it was resurfacing, and I was like, I can't do this by myself. I had lost a best friend. She didn't die. We just stopped being friends, but we have been friends since high school. So that was like a 10-year friendship. And me and my ex were going through it. And I was like, I have no one to lean on, but I got 2 babies. Okay. At the time, my daughter was about to be 1. So yeah, I had 2 babies and I had a baby and a toddler. Okay. And I was like, I can't just be out here struggling with my mental health. It's no. So I ended up getting a therapist, and I had been working with her. I still work with her to this day. And so actually last year, she officially diagnosed me with PTSD, major depression, and adjustment disorder. And when I first found out, I was like that. Y'all see that little gif that does that? Okay, anyways, I was like, what? And it made me even more overwhelmed. And I was like, what is wrong with me? You know? And I had all the negative self-talk and all the things. And then I was like, okay, no, remember what you've been growing through, because this was last year. I'm like, you knew you had these issues. It's just now there's a label on it. You know what I mean? So like, it was like day 1, I was like, nah. And then day 2, I was like, it is what it is. I had these issues. I've been working through them. I love myself, this and that, whatever. And I really just didn't acknowledge them. I didn't claim them. Like I said, because before I already knew I had the issues, you know. They're a result. They're the way my mind and body responded to the trauma that I experienced as a child. And that's what your body does to protect you. That's what your brain does to protect you. So I knew, you know, so I had to be like, girl, you know, you gotta have those talks to yourself. Girl, why you like you didn't know? You knew. So, but ultimately, like I said, all the things that I had been doing, I hadn't been doing acupuncture. I just actually started acupuncture a month ago. So I hadn't been doing that yet. Everything was working for me. But you heard the adjustment disorder at the end of last year in November, which is crazy to me because that's how I start off. My new year is November because my birthday is in November. So that's when I celebrate New Year's. Anyways, it hit crazy. It was a lot of things I had to adjust to, and I had to adjust in the moment. I didn't have a lot of time to process, and I had to move. And it was a lot. And so, like I like to call it, my PTSD was once more activated. And it was really it was bad. Okay, so when I have PTSD, when my PTSD is activated, this is not official terms, you guys. I just like to call it that because, like I said, I manage these things, but sometimes something will kick me over the edge. And so the symptoms will be stronger and they'll be harder for me to maintain. So that's why I call it activated. So my PTSD was activated. It was to the point where, okay, I'm asleep, right? And my dog could be way across the room or on the other side of my bedroom door scratching. And I would hear it like she was in the bed next to me because I was hyper vigilant and I was ready, and aware for everything. And mind you, I'm on my way out to sleep. You know what I mean? I should be knocked out and that's all I can hear. So it's like the best way to explain hypervigilance is like you're overstimulated times 10, but you live in that state. So being touched, it irritates me. The noises irritate me. I don't like all the different, and when you got kids, they got their tablet on, you already got your TV on, you cooking, whatever. It's just too many noises. And normally, when I'm not activated, it doesn't bother me as much. Yeah, it's annoying, but it's like annoying you brush it off. No, honey. When when my PTSD is activated, I'm like, something has to be turned down. And so I had been experiencing my PTSD symptoms very strongly, and they were very hard for me to maintain. And so some of the symptoms were that living in the fight or flight state, being overwhelmed, being hypervigilated, vigilant. I had insomnia, and I wanted to isolate. And the insomnia makes things worse because your brain needs to rest, especially when you live in a fight or flight state, because you're always alert, and you need to rest, but you can't rest because you have insomnia. Like it makes it worse, and then there's that need to isolate. I'm already pretty isolated. In the town I live in, I don't really have a lot of friends. I have great friends, but we're usually like, we tap in, we talk really for like 2 hours on the phone, and then we don't talk again for another 2 months. We don't do a lot of hanging out, and I love them for that. I need them for that. So I'm good with it. So I am already kind of isolated, but it's like when I feel these feelings, it goes a step further, because sometimes people don't understand. Sometimes you're just so overstimulated, you don't want to be around people. You don't want to be irritable with someone you care about because they tapped you. You know what I mean? And it's just a lot of different reasons. A lot of people isolate themselves because they're heavily triggered, and other people don't understand that, or will trigger them constantly, and they don't know how to communicate that. For me, the isolation usually comes from just not wanting to be overly stimulated. It's really just, smells and sounds and this and that, and you don't want to be like, you got to live your life this way because you around me. Like, why you spraying that perfume? We don't do perfume around here. Like, you know what I mean? You can't just be doing that. So it's a lot of different things. It really depends on the individual as what's going to irritate them, what's going to trigger them. And I didn't like that, but I also was aware that when you're in a fight or flight state, when you're in that you're hyper vigilant, your body is doing things that it's only supposed to do when you're like in danger, that's what the fight or flight state is for. It's to kick your body into gear. So your adrenaline is rushing, heart rate is going up, all the things, and it's supposed to help. It's supposed to help you. The phone cut off on me. It's supposed to help you to get to safety or protect yourself. That's what the fight or flight mode is for. My body lived in a fight or flight mode, and I don't even think I experienced the rest and digest mode. Make sure my mic's on. Okay. So it wasn't safe. And we managed, like, my therapist gave me some tips, and I looked up some tips on Pinterest. So the very first thing we started with, because my resting heart rate was like 90, and it should be in the 60s. So the first thing we started was 60 beats per minute. It's music. And you can literally type in 60 beats per minute in YouTube and music will pop up. Now I do more frequency stuff. It just depends on what I feel like I need. Like last night I just literally typed in clarity frequency, and a 8-hour video popped up, and I sleep with it on. So I sleep with it on. She also told me to have it in the background. But again, if I am really overstimulated, hypervigilant, I don't care if it's on low. It's irritating me. Like, sound irritates me so much, and it was like I said, it's bad. I don't want to say it's bad, but it's I feel like it's bad because I have children. So if I want to listen to my music and they have their tablet on, one of them uses a tablet, the other one uses a TV, and then I'm cooking. So it's like I'll listen to music while I cook. But I can hear what I'm doing in the kitchen, what I'm listening to in my ears, and what they're listening to. And I feel like that would overstimulate anyone. But my goodness, like, talk about irritable. The music helps though. The music helps. Humming and singing stimulates your vagus nerve, which is your fight or flight nerve. So it does kind of calm you down. So I do, those were the things. So it was the 60 beats per minute. It was humming, singing, gargling, cold showers. So I start hot and then I go all the way down to cold for as long as I can stand it. What I like to do is I like to put on my favorite song to sing when I get to the cold. Because one, it distracts me from the fact that the water is cold. And two, I'm doing both at one time. The thing that I've found with the cold showers is that it gets you comfortable being uncomfortable. So it doesn't just help for PTSD, it helps for other things. I really have found that I'm a lot more calmer in uncomfortable situations. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty comfortable because things have been hard, y'all, okay? So I'm really good under pressure and with the things going on, and I'm quick on my feet. But I just noticed that I'm even more calm than what I used to be. I don't feel anxiety rise as soon, as I used to. It's a lot. I'm a lot calmer, period. Because of the cold shower. So I do feel that the things that I was doing to stimulate my vagus nerve before acupuncture were helpful. But in November, when shit hit the fan, honey, it was, like I said, the adjustment disorder grabbed the PTSD symptoms, and they just was like having a party. And I couldn't even take a nap, y'all, because I could hear everything. The kids could be whispering in the next room and I knew what they was talking about, okay? I couldn't sleep because if the refrigerator made a noise. It was like my hypervigilance was at an all-time high, and I don't think it's ever been that high. So I was like, I can't keep functioning like this. And then it was also making me easily triggered. Whereas I had learned to manage my triggers. I have all these little tools in place. That's why I have enough to where I could do a video for each thing, for each thing that I use to cope. And so I was like, I need something that's going to help my body physically. I need a physical therapy. Fitness works for me. Dancing works for me. Those are also on my list. But the trauma that was stored in my body, the hypervigilance, the fight or flight, all of that was things that fitness was only calming down temporarily. Dancing was only calming down temporarily. I needed something that was lasting until everything else will kick in and work together. So I was like, okay, it's time. Okay. I had been talking about acupuncture for a while. It was just something I wanted to experiment with. My friend was telling me, you can use more than one therapy. And I was like, you're right. And then I mentioned it to my therapist and she encouraged it, but it wasn't something at the time that I felt like I really needed. And so I was opening up to a friend about how I felt like it was time for me to take that leap, even if I needed to like save money or whatever, just so I can get a monthly treatment. And she was like, you should just see if it's covered by insurance. I called my insurance. It's covered. I get 2 sessions each month with my health insurance. Excuse me. I don't know if it's because I be talking a lot or what, but I always end up having to burp when I'm doing my podcast. So y'all just gonna get to know me a little bit more. So sorry, I have no, that's why I don't like notes, because they be throwing me off when you're in the natural little flow of things. But so I ended up calling. I want to say I started, man, I might have started in April. I think I started at the end of April, beginning of May. I don't remember. My goodness. It might have been the end of March. Whatever. I've been doing it for a little over a month. Let's say that. Let's just say that. So I felt like it was time. I'm gonna write something down because I don't want to forget to say it to you guys, but it's not time to say it right now. In between. Okay, sorry. So that's why I chose acupuncture, because I needed something lasting. I needed something lasting that was going to manage my PTSD symptoms, my hypervigilance. I needed to get out of the fight or flight mode, because it's not healthy for your body. If your heart is pumping the way it's pumping. This is not scientifically proven, but I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. I have an insulin resistance and a hormone imbalance. That's basically, let's just say that's what PCOS is in a nutshell. And I honestly think that it's connected to my PTSD, because I experienced my PTSD as a child from my childhood trauma. And that you usually start experiencing PCOS when you hit your puberty stage, and that's when it happened for me. And like I said, if I had PTSD before then, it just connects to me, because what the more I learn about your vagus nerve, when your vagus nerve is not stimulated, it affects your organs, it affects your insulin, it affects the way the body is supposed to work naturally. So I needed something to kick my body back around, coupled with it works with the things that I've done. It's not a cure, it's another treatment, it's another form of therapy. It works with the other things that I do. So that's why I chose acupuncture. Now, in the beginning, it was emotional for me, because there was shame. And I wouldn't even call it really negative self-talk. It was a little bit of, it was a little bit of shaming, but I shut it down. And that's why I'm grateful for my growth, because if I wouldn't have shut it down, it would have been bad. But in the beginning, you have paperwork you have to fill out. Like with any medical thing, you have paperwork to fill out. So fill out the paperwork. I have to talk about all the things that are wrong with me. No, but I have to talk about, the things that I'm experiencing, why I want to receive acupuncture, right? So I'm talking about, the PTSD, the PCOS, the hormone imbalance, the insulin resistance. I'm talking about, depression, anxiety, all the things. And when you see it on paper, honey, it just makes you feel like that. And then when you meet there, of course, they're going to ask you again, has anything changed? Your account said, this is why you're here. List. And so you're like, yep, that's why I'm here. And so the shame, I think Brene Brown calls it a shame gremlin or something like that. Anyways, Brene Brown is the one to go to learn about shame. But the shame was telling me, damn, like you're really that messed up that now you got to get needles in you. You know what I mean? Like it's that bad. And I was like, yeah, girl, because I had childhood trauma. I didn't put myself in those positions. And even if I did put myself in a position, now I'm in the position where I want to heal, where I want to grow, where I want to be better for myself and for my kids. So yeah, I'm here. Yeah, that happened. Yes, things are so bad that I have to get needles. Yes. And it's not like they do in the TV where you have like all these needles on your face and you're like, you know what I mean? It's not like that. But you have to have those talks with yourself, because the negative self-talk, and a lot of times I really feel like negative self-talk is stuff that you've accumulated in your mind over time from outside. I don't think that a lot of times, I think, let's see, let's give a percentage. Let's just do 50-50, just to play nice. 50% of it is like your trauma, and it's your trauma speaking to you. The other 50% is the people on the outside who have confirmed the lies that your trauma has told you. And that's where all that negative stuff comes from. That's where all the shadow self, the side that you try to hide, those parts of you that you hide, the parts of you that you chip away so that you can appear to be lovable and whatever. That's where that stuff comes from. And so that's where that negative self-talk comes from. And so you have to check her or him. Okay. So I had to do that. Yes, I'm here. I'm ready to heal. Yes. I'm overstimulated times 10. Yes, I am. And that's why I'm here. So that I can be better. So that I can be healthier. Physically, mentally, emotionally, all the things. And so it was like 5 seconds. I was like, I started tearing up and I was like, damn, is that bad? Yes, it is. And that's why we're here to heal. So afterwards though, when I met the acupuncturist, I think that's what they call him. Anyways, he was really chill. You know, when you tell people, I'm gonna say your diagnosis, because I don't want to say what's wrong with you, because girl, you good. Boy, you good. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Anyways, when you tell someone your diagnosis, when you tell them something that you're experiencing that you feel is negative, sometimes when you tell an average person, the response is like a slap in the face, like, oh, you know, and there's no negative response, really chill, really understanding, really like, well, of course you would feel like that because of this. Like, you know what I mean? Really like, yeah, of course, girl, like it's nothing. And so it was really good to be in that environment, really good to be in that space, really good to be around someone who understands. It really is like another form of therapy. I'm not even gonna lie. And so I'm remembering stuff that I said in the first video that didn't have sound. So I need to write that down. Okay. So it was really cool after that. After I had my little cry moment and I checked myself, and then he came in and confirmed what I had just told myself. It was good. It was really good, and it was really peaceful. And so I'm gonna walk you through the experience. So I go in there. The nurse will ask me what, if there's anything changed, if I need to update anything. I usually don't tell her. I usually like, it's fine. And then when he comes in, he asks me, then I'll tell him what I need. And that's how it goes. We go based off how I'm feeling that week. So one time I went in there and I was like, I had it was like birthdays and I had won a cake. So I had like a lot of, my blood sugar was, I felt like my blood sugar was high. I can tell it in the way my body was moving. And I can feel it stored because I have an insulin resistance. I can feel it stored in my body and I did not like it. And so I asked him to focus on my liver, because I also seen it in my skin. So I was like, my liver, my skin, my hormone imbalance. And he was like, all of that is connected to your liver. And so he went in and we did liver that day, and hormone imbalance. And then, I can't remember what else I've asked him for, because lately, after the first time I told him I wanted to stimulate my vagus nerve, that's all I've been asking for. Because experiencing the rest and digest state was mind-blowing. And I'm not even exaggerating. And I am a person who likes to exaggerate. Honey, I'm not exaggerating. Because when you live in a state where you're like this all the time, but you're trying to tame yourself, it's like you're at a war with yourself inside of your body. It's a lot. It's a lot of energy. And I'm just so grateful, because it's like so relaxing to be in a rest and digest state. Now, I don't think that my body has fully adapted to where I live in a rest and digest state and I go to a fight or flight state when I need to, but I am definitely less in a fight or flight state. And I remember after my first few sessions, I was so exhausted because my body was like, wow, like I can relax. And so I was relaxing and I was so tired. Like I didn't want to crawl out of bed. And it was like, it wasn't like I'm depressed. Oh, like it was like, I'm so relaxed right now and my body is relaxing. My body felt tired and it needed that rest. And it was amazing. It was really amazing, especially because my first 2 sessions were back to back, because he wanted to make sure that I got it before, because I get 2 from my insurance each month. And so he wanted to make sure that before that month was over, I was able to get my 2. So I got them back to back. Oh my gosh. So relaxed. Probably the most relaxed I've ever been in my life. My goodness, that I can remember. And so it was great. It was great. So let's fast forward to when they're spaced out, because now my appointments are spaced out. I have one close to the beginning and one close to the end. And I remember last week, because last week I had my session, I was so I had been irritable all May, honey. All May. And so I went in there and I was like, I've been irritable all May. I'm like, I feel good today, but for the most part, I've been irritable all May. He was like, well, there's nothing wrong with being irritable. I was like, thank you, because I was feeling it, you know. But so we talked about that. He really reassured me, sometimes we think about feeling our feelings, but irritability, anger, those are things that we try to avoid. And I'm really learning to just really let myself feel the irritation, feel the anger, feel the frustration. I'm letting myself feel it and thinking, what is it trying to tell me? And the irritability was telling me I was doing too much, and that it wasn't so much that I'm doing too much, it's that I'm already doing what I need to be doing, but in my mind, I'm thinking I'm not doing enough. So then I'm irritated that I'm not doing enough. You know what I mean? Excuse me. So, that last session, we talked about that. He also said that now that things are more separated, one, my self-care needs to be stronger, because I don't have back-to-back sessions. I don't have sessions once a week. So like I said, this is where I'm saying it works together. All of these things work together. So that means, yes, I need to go on my walks. Yes, I need to drink my teas. Yes, I need my aromatherapy. I do that for my essential oils. I need my aromatherapy. Yes, I need to, have time for myself. Yes, I need to be creative. Yes, I need to do poetry. Dang, when was the last time I wrote a poem? Probably like 2 nights ago. Never mind. Journaling, all the things that you do to take care of yourself. That's what you still need to do in between these sessions. And then he also gave me an herbal supplement to help as well. Because I'm telling y'all, I was so irritable, and a big part of it was because I was thinking about all the things that I feel like I should or could or would be doing. You know what I mean? Instead of focusing on what I was doing at that time. And so my self-care fell off for a good 2 weeks. And I was feeling it. My body was feeling it. My mind was feeling it. And then I was also like rushing myself, So I I've really slowed down since that last session, and I'm telling you, I felt so good, and I needed that recovery. I needed that relaxation. So that was how my last session went. I have fully accepted that this is something I really want to be a part of my life for as long as I can. Because it is so helpful. It really is. It helps me to connect with my body. It helps me to connect with my mind. Because when they put they don't, like I said, they don't put needles everywhere. Like I usually get like maybe 2 here, like 1 here and like 1 here. I don't know. Wherever he puts them, it will change depending upon what you need when you go in that session. So I'll get a few, like maybe 2 or 3 on my face somewhere. Sometimes they go on my ears. I love it when they go on my ears. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a pain, but it's like a good pain, like when you get a tattoo. But they will go throughout your body. There's different pressure points throughout your body that can help the same thing, or whatever you, like I said, whatever. I don't know where the pressure points are and what they go and what they do. That's his job. So I tell him what I need, and he puts the needles, but I'm just letting you know it's not a lot. Hollywood be exaggerating just to be exaggerating, because that's what Hollywood does. So when you see all the needles on people on TV, that's fake. So it's not as scary as it seems. Yes, it hurts. It's needles in your skin. It hurts. But it's like I said, 1, for me, it's like a good pain. I'm like addicted to it. Like people are addicted to getting tattoos. Okay. 2, once you experience it, for me, I don't ever want to go back. I don't care how healed I get. I'm getting acupuncture, damn it. But it's just been so helpful for me. And so managing in between sessions, I'm doing other things to stimulate my vagus nerve, working out, making sure I'm staying hydrated, drinking my water, getting my rest, especially since I spend more time in the rest and digest state and my body's not used to it. I'm really, I'm saying I'm trying, but I am. Let's claim it. I am getting on a good sleep schedule. But I have had less insomnia since I had my last session last week, because my insomnia was kicking in. I'm telling y'all, I don't know what was May doing was to me, but my goodness, it was me being frustrated. But anyways, so it's been beneficial to me. I do get asked if it's painful. Yes, it's painful. But it's helpful. It's worth it. He's also, y'all probably gonna end up getting your own little acupuncturist, but they're understanding too. They know that needles can be scary for people. They know that in some areas it's more painful than in others, so I believe that if you connect, it's like any doctor or therapist. If you speak with them, if you communicate with them, if you do those things, then they're able to work with you and do what you're comfortable with. But if they are not, then find somebody else, okay? Because there's other people who do that stuff. It's like I said, with a doctor or a therapist, if your doctor ain't doing what you need them to do, what you gonna do? Get another doctor. Same thing with therapists, same thing with your acupuncturist. But I think it's worth a try. But I know that it's not for everyone. So let me suggest one other thing. There's a thing called acupressure, and it's a massage that focuses on the pressure points, and it's supposed to be healing as well. I have not done all the research. I did get one massage, and the lady told me after she started giving me the massage that she's not as experienced in the acupressure, and that I should have she suggested a place for me to go. So I didn't get the full experience, which I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because I probably wouldn't have tried acupuncture if acupressure would have worked. But that is an option for you to do some research on and see if that's what's better for you. But I highly suggest at least trying once. because it has been so beneficial for me. The day after I got my acupuncture, my daughter sat on my lap and I was joyful, because when they sit on me, when my PTSD symptoms are activated, I'm like, you gotta go, you gotta move, because it's just that uncomfortable. So we schedule times. It's like that. My body, the muscle memory, whatever the trauma stored in my body does not like it. Okay. So I have to know when the touch is coming. I have to know, like we do it like this because they're kids. They need affection. They need love. They're human beings. So we schedule it. In the morning, they get a morning hug. At nighttime, they get a bedtime hug. If they have big feelings throughout the day, I'll say, do you need a hug? So then I know, DaShay, mentally, you got to go hug that child. Okay. Or sometimes I will just grab them and hug them, but it's my terms, right? Because my body is so overstimulated that the touch, it makes my skin crawl. But when I get the acupuncture and when I take care of myself to where I'm not overstimulated to the max, because I'll be overstimulated. I'm a mom. It's going to happen. But the PTSD, when I'm not hypervigilant, or when my hypervigilance is maintained, it's a lot easier for me to stand being touched. It's a lot more tolerable. And so just, oh my God, I don't want to cry. Just being able to receive affection from my child without my skin crawling was like, yay. Because my kids are very affectionate. They are very cuddly, and they still want to sleep with me, and it's so cute. Like they have these little fold-up beds that I have in the living room. They will literally bring their little fold-up bed to lay next to mine just so they can be as close to me as possible. And I love that shit. But sometimes I'm overstimulated and I'm like, get it 10 feet. So I would try it. I want to make sure I did everything on this list, manage it. I talked about how I manage in between. Those, the herb supplements that they have been giving me have been working too. And they're actually on Amazon. Ooh, I'm gonna put the Amazon link in there. Let me make sure I make a note because I don't want to forget. Amazon herb sup. Yes, y'all, I have to make notes because I got a lot on my plate. Okay, so I think that's everything, y'all. If y'all have any more questions about acupuncture, though, I will be willing to make a video. I'll probably make a short because I really want to do an individual video on the different forms of therapy that I use. So this was acupuncture. So I ran out of space, and this video is not going to be that long or the best quality. But I just wanted to sign off the way I love to sign off and remind you that you are worthy, 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 worthy. You are worthy of love. You're worthy of healing. You are worthy of success. And I just want to encourage you to be your authentic self and to love these parts of you. Love the irritable parts of you. Love your attitude. Love it all. Love it all. Love all of you. Because all of you is lovable. All right, y'all. Bye.